Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my dad's wife with my half-siblings now that he's basically MIA? Hi Reddit, this has been weighing on me for a while now, and I honestly don't know how to feel about the whole situation anymore. I've talked to friends and my mom, but it all still feels too messy and personal. So here goes. I'm a 16-year-old guy, and my parents got divorced when I was just 2 years old. I don't remember the actual divorce, but from everything I've gathered over the years, it wasn't particularly dramatic. Just two people who didn't work out and went their separate ways. For most of my life, I had a 50-50 custody schedule. 2 weeks with my mom, 2 weeks with my dad, switching back and forth. That was my normal for as long as I can remember. When I was around 6, my dad remarried. His wife, let's call her Sarah, came into the picture, and pretty quickly they had kids. I now have 3 younger half-siblings. I don't want to include their ages here, but they're all under 10. I've never really clicked with Sarah. At first, she tried the whole fun stepmom thing, you know? Taking me out to do activities, trying to joke around with me, sometimes acting overly familiar like she was trying to replace my mom. I was polite about it when I was younger, but as I got older, I started noticing how much she disliked my mom. She would say stuff under her breath about how some parents don't know how to raise respectful boys, or comment on the clothes I brought from my mom's house being too cheap or too flashy. It was always subtle, but it added up. That tension grew as I hit my early teens, and we started clashing more and more. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't always respectful to her either. I started avoiding her, giving short answers, staying in my room, not engaging. She complained to my dad that I was rude, but he always just kind of shrugged it off. He was the type who hated conflict and always tried to play peacekeeper, even when it was obvious one side was the problem. Anyway, about a year ago, things changed pretty drastically. My dad got a big promotion at work, and his new job moved him out of state. His base is now several hours away, and he's only home every few weeks. Since he wasn't going to be around regularly anymore, he and my mom agreed to change the custody agreement. Now, I live with my mom full-time, and I only see my dad when he comes back into town, which is maybe once a month, if that. Around the same time, my dad and Sarah separated. They're still legally married, but they don't act like a couple anymore. They don't live together full-time, and when my dad comes to town, sometimes he stays with her, sometimes he doesn't. No one's really given me the full story on that, and honestly, I haven't asked. I'm not super close with either of them anymore, especially now that I only see my dad once in a while. But here's where things started getting really weird. Sarah didn't take the custody change well. She actually tried to argue that she should still have partial custody of me, not because she loves me like a son or anything, but because she said she raised me for 9 years and that I'm a big part of the family and her kids need their brother around. I was shocked. I mean, I get that she's been in my life a long time, but we never had that kind of relationship. It always felt forced, and I never saw her as a mother figure. Plus, she's not even my legal guardian. My mom put her foot down and said no. And to his credit, my dad didn't fight it. He basically told Sarah, if he doesn't want to be there, I'm not going to force him. That might be one of the only times he's ever actually taken a side in something like this. So, I stopped going to their house. No more 2 weeks a month. I live at my mom's, I go to school, hang out with friends, work part-time sometimes. I see my dad occasionally and my siblings even less. But Sarah won't let it go. Ever since I turned 16, she's been pushing harder and harder for me to step up and be a man by helping her out with my half-siblings. She keeps saying she's basically a single mom now and that I should help pick up the slack. Things like babysitting, picking the kids up from school if she's busy, spending weekends at her house so they can see me more, or even just staying overnight to reconnect. I told her I wasn't comfortable with that, and she absolutely lost it. She said I was being selfish, that I was abandoning my family, and that I owe it to my siblings to be around. That being 16 means I'm old enough to give back to the family that raised me. I told her flat out, I don't want to be around her. I told her she has no authority over me, and that since my mom is full custody, I don't have to do anything she says. I also told her the truth, that I never really liked her, and now that her relationship with my dad is basically over, I don't see a reason to keep pretending we have some kind of close bond. She went nuclear, called me disgusting, ungrateful, heartless, said she was ashamed that she wasted years trying to build a relationship with me. She told me I was a terrible role model to my siblings and a disgrace to the family. I didn't even respond. And here's the part that really messes with me. I don't feel bad. Not really. I mean, yeah, I feel weird. I think about my siblings sometimes. The last time I saw them, they looked confused, especially the youngest. She hugged me like she hadn't seen me in years and asked if I'd moved away. That kind of gutted me a little. But even then, I didn't feel like rushing back to fix things. I don't miss them when I'm not there. They're not my kids. I didn't choose this situation. It's not that I hate them. They're just not central to my life anymore. And I know they're struggling too. They don't understand why I'm suddenly not there anymore, and no one is probably explaining it in a way that makes sense. But that still doesn't make it my responsibility to become their stand-in parent just because my dad's mostly absent now. So yeah, maybe I sound cold. Maybe I could have handled some conversations with more tact. But I also feel like Sarah is trying to guilt me into something I never agreed to, and that just feels wrong. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to help my dad's wife with my half-siblings now that he's barely around anymore?